Our prayers have been answered by the Monster Hunter team, as we will finally be getting our hands on an open beta for Monster Hunter Wilds in just 1 week's time. Furthermore, we have confirmation on a brand new zone, 2 brand new monsters, as well as some hints towards the overarching plot of the game itself. First, let's take a look at the new locale. The Oil Well Basin is an area, as you may expect, filled with oil. It flows across the land, but we also see various man-made structures that we can only assume connects to the Everforge. We'll touch a bit more on the Everforge later, however what's key to note is that seemingly at will we can activate the Everforge to begin what's referred to as Fire Spring. All of the oil across the region will now ignite into flames, completely changing the environment, almost in replacement of a weather effect. Previously seen heavy rains sort of flood rivers throughout the locations. This is what we can assume to be the map's equivalent. This will also naturally affect what monsters we see in the location as explained. First we have Rompopolo. This creature lurks deep within the oil itself. It has a very insect-like appearance. I can't help but notice its tongue sort of gives me mosquito vibes. In a sense it sort of looks like its body's inflated with air, which would make sense as we see it almost blow down into the oil, causing it to spurt out at the hunter. Either that or it's sound-based. We'll have to wait and see more. During the Fire Spring, however, we now see Ajarakan enter the equation. This primate-inspired monster is 100% my favourite that we've seen in Wild so far. We see him swinging across pipelines, much like how you would expect a monkey to do so. What I found particularly interesting, however, is much like how Glavinus seems to sharpen its tail on rocks or its teeth to ignite it, Ajarakan beats his chest with molten lava, which seems to achieve a similar effect. During this powered up stage, we can assume him to hit harder, possibly inflict fire blight, and I'm sure we're safe to say he'll have access to some new moves. But these aren't the only 2 monsters we were shown today. There is a concentrated area of humanity in what's referred to as the Everforge. My guess is that the region is so naturally filled with oil that an ancient civilization of some sort came in to set up all this infrastructure we see throughout the land, including the pipes and various machinery, all of which funnels and filters its way to this one central point that has been converted into a forge. Maybe this makes it possible to smelt different types of ore that ordinarily require a temperature so high we're not able to. However, through utilising the land's natural resources, we can now do so. Maybe we have to forge a piece of armour, weaponry or ammunition to take on a much larger threat. However, in the trailer something seems to go wrong, almost as if the forge itself is malfunctioning. Maybe too much heat is generated, or maybe they're referring to the awakening of a monster known as the Black Flame. Whether this is a new Elder Dragon or not, we have no idea. A lot of people in the live chat when this was being premiered at first seemed to believe it was Narcarcos, excuse my pronunciation if that's wrong, and it's obvious to see where that comparison lies. However, this evidently is a completely different monster, or at the very least a subspecies. Either that or knowledge on this original monster was lost, and it could very well be the same exact species. What I do know is that we fight this thing, as we see in the trailer the hunter doing just exactly that. This leaves us with so many questions. Clearly this monster has a history within the region, almost as if stories of its existence are told throughout the community. Yet despite this, everyone seems so shocked and surprised that these events are unfolding before their very eyes. So my question to you is, what do you think really happened here? Or rather, what was supposed to happen? As I mentioned earlier, my theory is that we are here in this region to try and craft some sort of weapon to take down a looming threat, almost in a similar way to how we needed the Dragonator to push back Zora Magdaros. Perhaps our current weaponry aren't able to penetrate the scales of a monster of some sort, and we require an ore that can only be forged in this particular location to get the job done. That's my wild guess. I'd love to hear what yours is. Clearly this is just one component of a greater story at large. I can't wait to see what the team put together. The trailers seem to have much more of a focus on the story aspects of the game, but we'll have to wait and see. Of course, we also have the demo, which I am incredibly happy for. Well, I say demo, it's actually an open beta. Depending on your time zone, this will either launch on October 31st or the 1st of November. And we get the game for a full weekend. If you're a PlayStation user, however, you're in luck and you're going to get the game slightly earlier. During this playtest, we'll be able to create our character. This data will be saved and you'll be able to pull it straight away once the game launches later on next year. So you might want to spend a bit of time doing that now, so you don't have to worry about it at the game's launch. We then have what's named the story trial. Potentially we get to watch the opening cutscene of the game, get to fight the big green guy that we've been shown multiple times. This serves as the tutorial for the game, so don't expect much with this hunt. And finally, we get to hunt ourselves a Doshagama. Here our goal is to take out the alpha of the pack, and assumingly you'll be able to pick from each of the different weapons to do so. Multiplayer is also open, so maybe we can do some hunts together. I'm hoping there'll be a few extra secrets in here. Maybe there's an additional monster we can fight, or some hints towards the potential storyline. Either way, I'm sure we'll all have a lot of fun with this open beta. And this is going to feel like a really long week leading up to it, but everything feels so real now. It really feels like the game's right around the corner. Let me know what's your favourite thing that was showed today, and definitely let me know your theories to what the Great Forge might exactly be. Thanks for watching.